Hello, my name is Alan Smithson, co-founder here at MetaVRse. MetaVRse is a low-code, real-time 3D creation platform for the future of human communication, collaboration, culture, and commerce. We serve global enterprise clients at the intersection of training, marketing, and retail. We're very excited to show you the MetaVRse engine. Here we go. So, here's the MetaVRse engine. You can build 3D experiences, virtual stores, meetings places, and all sorts of experiences, all within the 3D world, all running in a browser and distributed to over 7 billion devices from a browser window. So let's get started. You'll notice that we have a viewer window in the middle. The viewer window, you can zoom in quite a ways out and quite a ways in. You have, right now, there's by default 6 lights in the environment. And then as I go in, you'll notice that I have my 6 lights here, and everything that's in the scene is here in this scene folder here. My assets are in here, so I'm going to import some new assets. Let's import some assets here. We're going to import a robot. So let's do that quick. Great. So we got our robot importing. It converts to our binary. I click the robot folder, and voila, I have a robot in 3D space. I can use the arrows to move it around, or I can hit Shift to scale it a little bigger. Perfect. I can go up here and use the rotational gizmo and turn it around if I want. And there you go. I can also turn the grid lines on and off. Or let's say I get lost and I'm way over here. I can hit this button. It takes me back to 0. And here we go. Okay. So one of the things you'll notice is that every time I click something in the scene, a panel appears on the right-hand side. So if I click a light, for example, if I back out here and I click this light, then anything I do here is going to be reflected real-time in the scene. So you see that I have real-time lighting controls. So leave that there. Now, what I also have is real-time mesh level configurations or mesh level details. So I can grab this material, and it's a full PVR or physically based rendering pipeline, and I can start to apply roughness texture. And you'll notice that the roughness is reflecting off a skybox. In order to get the skybox, you click up here in the world, gives you the world. You can turn on the skybox, see it from any angle. You can turn on the shadows. We'll turn on our shadows. We'll enable those. You can change your background color. Leave it black. You can change your FPS, 3060. We have 72, 90, and 120 coming for VR. Your DPR pixel resolution, anti-aliasing, global HUD scale, and also you have a CSS window there. So with that, I'm going to go back and let's just finish putting on the texture files, normals, metalness, and albedo. Perfect. Okay. Got my robot. It's looking really nice. Looking, yeah, very realistic looking. Perfect. Now, in the next window up here in the top right, I also have the ability to play an animation. Great. So I can play an animation, I can scrub it, so I can figure out where it is. I have the ability to see the size of this object. In this case, it is 25,000 polygons. And the last one is I have this code snippet window here, which is super valuable, and I'll show you that in 2 seconds here. But what we're going to do is we're going to start in the top left here, and we're going to add a few elements to this. So we're going to add a video by simply clicking the video, adding it. We'll rename it space. Oops. Space. There we go. Okay. And then you'll notice that I can drop the asset here, and I imported it earlier. I can just drop it right in here. Take a second. You can also use a URL by hosting it from a hosted service. As soon as that turns on, you notice I can turn that on. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sphere to the space here. Perfect. And by clicking that sphere, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it really big, hitting Shift again, holding this and making it fairly large. Now I can fly right in. Now I'm inside the sphere. Great. It's exactly what I wanted, but I'm going to brighten it up just a touch because we're going to add a video to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a video that we just made, the space one, on top of there. There it is. And there's my video. There's my spaceman. And so now I'm inside here. Now what I want to do is I want to create, there's my lights. If I wanted to add lights, I can add a camera. So I'm going to add a camera fly in, and I'm going to click that. Let's just go to 0 here, and we'll go, I don't know, maybe here. Looks like a good spot right here. Actually, maybe, yeah, right here. So we'll go right here, and we'll go use current location. So no matter where I am now, if I go to current location, it'll take me there. Now, when you use this as part of the Mega Controller, which I'll show you in a second, it'll fly you in a nice smooth pattern in the shortest direction possible. Moving over, you have a HUD button, which is we're not going to use, but that creates buttons like this here, which I'm actually going to turn right off because we don't need AR. Then you can create what's called a HTML HUD using CSS and HTML code directly from code you're already using for web, which is awesome. Super, super valuable and useful, but we don't need it for this demo. Next one over is configurations. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a new configuration. We're going to go into this configuration, and we're going to turn on this sphere, and that's it. And so what we're going to do is we've got a configuration that turns it on and off, and I'm going to turn off the sphere here. So now when I turn on the configuration, it turns on the sphere. Okay, so we'll leave it off for now. And now what I'm going to do is assign all those things to the robot. So I go back to the robots code tab. Down here in the left, in the assets folder, we have the JavaScript. Go to Mega Controller. If I right click, edit, I have a full onboard JavaScript editor, and you can get in here and edit. And the great thing is you can have your JavaScript windows open here. Maybe I want to have different windows open for different things, but I can go back and forth and go back and forth to the 3D world and my code. It's super useful. But for the rest of us who don't code, you can simply take your controller, drop it in. And this is a full API, so people can write what we call code snippets and make them into these visual code snippets to make it easier for anyone to start programming. So let's put it all together. Camera, we take our camera, drop it on. Camera duration will take 4 seconds to get there. Great. We'll go to configuration. We take the one we just made that turns that on and off. Great. We'll enable it after the camera. Object animation, we'll take our robot, drop it here. After camera, and we'll do, let's say, half speed, 0.5 speed. Great. And then animation sequence, if you had one. Video component, which is our video here, right? We made our space video. We drop it here. And after camera, you can play, pause, or stop. And then, of course, you have pre and post camera JavaScript. So let's go preview. And preview is WYSIWYG. So what you see is what you get. So I clicked it, and this is exactly how long it's going to take to load for a customer. So 3 seconds, roughly. I can see it, what it's going to look like in mobile, and I can see what it's going to look like in desktop. So with that, I should be able to click it, and it'll take 4 seconds to fly me in. 3, 2, 1. And there we go. The robot, the video is turned on, and you'll notice that I'm inside a giant sphere for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this, and we're going to take a hero shot, and we're going to leave it just like that. Perfect. So now, whenever you start this, and I'm just going to refresh the browser there. There we go. Last thing was left to do is rename it. Here we go. Let's give it a try here. Perfect. We're going to rename it MetaVRse Demo November 2022. Perfect. Okay. Now, the greatest thing about this is hitting publish when you're ready to go, and voila. Now you can shine your phone, get your phone out, take your camera, point it at the QR code, and you'll be able to try this experience real time, as if I made it and published it directly to an app. But again, it's to the browser, so there's no need for apps anymore, which is super convenient, very, very useful. And of course, it spits out web embed code and iframe code as well, so you can embed this into any website. And now you can start to build virtual worlds, experiences, and metaverses, all from within the MetaVRse engine, and publish them directly to over 7 billion devices, all from any low-powered desktop device. So this is the MetaVRse engine. Very excited, and I hope you enjoy it. Cheers. If there's any questions, let us know. We're here to help.